All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back. I got another matchup review. We're reviewing week 5 this week. Technical difficulties again. Basically need to get a new computer, or someone else is gonna have to start hosting, and I'll have to just call in or whatever because my computers are all fucked. I have 3 of them, and none of them want to work for me. So let's just get into it. I was supposed to have Ray on, our newest member, newest brother-in-law. He was trying to get on, and it wasn't working out. So he's gonna maybe get on next week. So he did write some stuff for his matchups and some awards and stuff, and he sent me what he had. So I'm gonna read that. It should be pretty funny. But let's just get right into it. I'm going to start with the awards. Shit start I gave to myself for starting Denver D, -2 points. Just terrible. And then Ray's shit start he gave to Tyler for starting Austin Safarian Jenkins, who got 0. I was going to ask Ray what made him pick ASJ when there was a bunch of other zeros. I don't know. Maybe it's because he hasn't done shit at all yet this season. Performance of the week I gave to Leonard and James Conner, 32.5 points. He was the highest scorer of the week. He's just, Steelers running back, whoever it is going to be a stud. Ray's performance, he didn't really give to a player. He gave it to Furbad in general for winning while getting 0 from his defense and not even playing a receiver, and he can account that to Todd motherfucking Gurley because he was the second highest scoring player, I think. Should have pulled out, was pretty tough. No one really made questionable decisions. But I gave it to Brian starting Kenny Stills. He's that Dolphin love, and he only gets 2.7 points. And if he would have started another player on his bench, I think he would have won. Maybe, I can't remember. But just, you don't have to play Dolphins all the time, Brian, Rays should have pulled out. He gave to himself for Brandon Cooks, and Brandon Cooks is 0. It's a good play. Brandon Cooks is going to do what Brandon Cooks does. It's not your fault that he got fucking knocked out. So, the rest of the awards, chocolate, let's see, waiver wire chocolate, Brian picking up the Chargers, getting 12 points. John Gata picking up Fairbairn, however you say it, 12 points. And Cheese picking up and playing Mohamed Sanu, getting that 15.3. That's pretty solid. Waiver wire poop. Also, Cheese had some of that too. Zach Pascal getting 1.7 points. And Steven picking up and playing the Patriots D, getting 4 points. Not going to get it done from a waiver wire defense. And the good old Rodney King Award. That goes to Raymond. So it would have been nice to have him on here. Got beat by 40.6 points. Not the worst, but still pretty bad. God, the old worst beating old Rodney King Award. That's such a good one. All right, let's get right into the matchup. So, he was supposed to do my matchup, but it doesn't look like he did. I did write one thing. I said, of course, all the shit I've been talking about Cheese's team and his best wide receiving core in the league, and he beats me with a good numbers from all those receivers. Of course, it's bound to happen. That's just the way it works. He beat me pretty bad. I only put up like 88, and he had like 120. I was hoping for a Monday Night Miracle from Michael Thomas and Ben Watson, but all the points went to fucking Traquan Smith, and of course Josh Hill was the tight end that got the receiving touchdown. Fuck me, right? Yeah. So let's just move on to Dustin versus Brian. Brian gets the low score of the week at 81 points. His highest scorer was Phillip Rivers at 21.4, and he only had 2 other guys that barely got double digits. His roster of skill positions is looking pretty rough. By the time Bell comes back, Brian's going to be out of playoff contention, along with probably me. Meanwhile, Dustin is chilling in Gulf Shores on the Alabama shore right now, drinking beers, waiting to get fucked up from Hurricane Michael. So good luck out there, Dustin. But it came down to Breeze on Monday night, and Dustin, he said it best in the group chat: breaking records and breaking Brian's fantasy dreams. That's what Breeze was doing. Not Dustin's best score, but I think it was just a down week for him, and he'll probably get back to normal this coming week. Moving on, Ray versus John. Ray did write something. He wanted to blame me for telling John I kissed his sister for that ass beating. So sorry, Ray, for spilling the beans. I didn't know it was such a secret. I'll make sure I ask you next time. Also, what I had was that, Ray, he took a hit when Brandon Cooks took that big hit and got knocked out and got that 0 points, but I don't think it really mattered because you did get that beating. I was going to ask you how it felt to get beat by a little shit trade's brother-in-law, but you're not here. Ray did have Brady and Odell combined for 55 points, but nobody else on his roster scored double digits. John, on the other hand, he had double digits all over the place, except for 2 guys. And one of those guys that didn't get double digits was a tight end, which I don't really count because that position is just shit right now with all the injuries. Anyway, John cruises to victory over brother-in-law Ray. Next, we have Steven versus Tyler. Steven Tyler, a.k.a. Aerosmith, is what Ray had. He said Steven's team with Devontae Adams, Saquon, has been a monster all year. And the newly acquired Zach Ertz from the trade rape of Brian gets over 20 along with those other 2 guys. And Tyler's team performance kind of looked like Ray's. They both got beat downs from the Gator boys, like that white girl did from Joe Mixon. I feel your pain, man. That's word for word what Ray wrote. Beat down like that white girl did from Joe Mixon. Jeez. All I put was welcome to the 1-4 club, Tyler. And it's a typical Brian getting trade raped by the Gators. Moving on, Augie versus Leonard. That was another one of Ray's matchups. It was the highest scoring match of the week. Each guy had huge numbers, even on their bench. Augie killed it with 160. David Johnson, even Eric Ebron's fat ass with a big game on Thursday. And the best quarterback in the game right now, Aaron Rodgers, puts him over the top. He also had Isaiah Crowell on the bench with 29 points. Can you imagine if he actually played him? But who could have seen the dumpster fire that is New York Jets running up the score like that? And, I have the same thing. 2 highest scores of the week. It sucks for Leonard, but we all been there. Well, maybe not Brian. He never has high scores. We'll see if Leonard can keep that up without Connor whenever Bell comes back. Finally, we have Furbad versus Andrew. Man, Furbad was bitching about scoring last night. He was worried about his unblemished record and his unbeaten season he's going for, going up against Will Lutz. But, it's really, Furbad, it's really your own fault because you didn't start a wide receiver. Luckily, you pulled it out and won by 1.8 points, and you're 5-0, so congrats. Big thanks to your boy Girl. He's 31.3. But your team is still pretty consistent anyway. 6 guys in double digits. Andrew, you came so close, and it always hurts when you look at your bench and see a couple guys you could have played to get the win over an undefeated team too. Andrew's best player was Andrew Luck on Thursday night with 22.6 points. And that's it for the review. Let's move on to next week's matchups. We got Raymond versus me. Raymond's 3-2. I'm 1-4. Ray is a heavy favorite right now. I have a couple bye week players, and this is the last thing Ray wrote. Fuck off, Grogan. I'm taking you down this week. We'll see about that, Ray. It's probably true. My team's looking rough. Pisses me off. Anyway, next we got Leonard 3-2 versus Tyler 1-4. Leonard is a heavy favorite, and I gotta go with Leonard. His team has been strong. Tyler's has not, and I just don't see it changing. Then we got John Gata 3-2 versus Forbad, the undefeated. Forbad is only a slight favorite. This is actually, I think, projected to be the closest match of the week. I'm feeling John Gata for the upset. Fuck off, Forbad. You're not going undefeated, bitch. Brian 1-4 versus Cheese 2-3. Surprisingly, Brian is the slight favorite. Man, I don't know who to pick. Both these teams aren't very good, even though I lost to both of them. What does that tell you? I think I'm going to go Brian. Nah, fuck that. Fuck Brian. I'm going to go Cheese. Let's go, Cheese. Beat Brian. Players making plays. Next up, Dustin 3-2 versus Augie 4-1. Augie's got a strong team as well. He's a 10-point favorite, and all right, I gotta go Augie. He just put up a big score, so Augie's gonna take this one down. And finally, Steven 3-2 versus Andrew 1-4. Steven is a big favorite. I think Andrew might be dealing with some buys. I'm gonna go Steven. And that does it. Hopefully we can get all these technical difficulties figured out for next week. And I might have a couple guests on. We'll see. Till next time, guys. Later.